Sugar and carb-heavy treats like cakes and lollies and bread, they all sound super tasty, and they're particularly prevalent right now in these weeks leading up to Christmas. But could they be contributing to your headaches and migraines? Hi everybody, my name is Helen and I'm an osteopath here at Melbourne Headache Solutions. So today I want to talk to you about how sugar and carbs could be affecting your headaches and migraines. So fluctuations in your glucose level, they affect your brain more than any other organ in your body. So these rises and drops, they can result in headaches. So how does this come about? Well, now before you start going into a panic saying I'm going to tell you to stop eating all your delicious treats, don't worry. Not everybody is affected by sugar and carbs, and also not all sugar is bad for us. So there's 3 different types of sugars that could be really bad for us. So that's things like sucrose, which is our white table sugar, fructose, which is found in fruits and other certain foods, and high fructose corn syrup. So when you consume these types of sugars in large quantities, it can have a really harmful effect on your health. So this includes things like increasing your risk of chronic diseases, gaining weight, rotting your teeth, all that sort of stuff. It can also result in chronic inflammation. So this occurs when the body's immune system activates and it results in damage to the healthy cells within the body. So research has suggested that people with high sugar diets have much more inflammatory markers in their blood. So chronic inflammation can be linked to things like mental health issues, body aches and pains, chronic fatigue, insomnia, and digestive issues. Now, these are all related to the onset of headaches and migraines. It's also suggested that when you eat carbohydrates, especially in processed forms like bread and pasta and crackers and stuff, the carbohydrates break down into sugar and glucose, and then this sort of rushes into the bloodstream, and then it causes your nerves to actually swell. So when the nerves swell, it can cut off like things like blood supply, and blood supply to the nerve, and then it damages it. And so this, they think, is what can result in migraine headaches as well. So sugar and high carb foods are also known for feeding bad bacteria in the gut. So this upsets the balance between the good and bad bacteria and fungi in our guts, and it creates something called dysbiosis. So the dysbiosis is the imbalance of the bacteria in our guts. So when you reach a state of dysbiosis and your stomach's really unhappy and unbalanced, you can start to develop things like leaky gut. And that's when you've got increased permeability in the walls of your intestines, and a lot of your waste products and bacteria and like proteins and stuff, they can actually leak out, and this causes inflammation as well. And so when you get that inflammation from the gut, it affects the nerves, your vagus nerve, which actually runs from your brain to your gut, and then you can get things like headaches and migraines. So in migraine sufferers in particular, many have a genetic variation which prevents them from utilising carbohydrates really efficiently. So they find that the sudden glucose or carb intake, it results in an electrolyte imbalance, and this imbalance can trigger a migraine. So things like low carbohydrate diets and the ketogenic diet have been found to be really effective in the management of people with chronic migraines. One of the biggest problems with sugar that we find is that it's really addictive. Meaning for those of us who have a high sugar diet, it can be quite hard to give up. So if you think that your high sugar and high carb diet could actually be contributing to your headaches and migraines, then you might find it beneficial to cut down gradually. So you can try doing things like substituting like the refined sugars, like those high fructose corn sugars and sucrose and stuff, for more natural sugars. So the sugars that you find in fruit and things like that. And then you can gradually sort of lower your sugar intake that way, and your carb intake that way. Also, eating more proteins can also curb some of those sugar cravings as well. Now, highly processed carbs and sugars, they come in many different forms. So it can be quite confusing to recognise actually what foods are high sugar. So some of the things that you might want to think about ditching are things like cereals, cereal bars and instant oatmeal, popcorn, chippies, crackers, soda like Coca-Cola, orange juice, energy drinks is a pretty bad one, and things like pastas and breads and all that sort of stuff. Also things like ice cream, as much as it's delicious, it's also another thing that can be highly inflammatory. So you might want to swap for items such as vegetables, certain fruits. A good refined sugar substitute that I find is things that are like date-based, because they can actually be quite sweet. But bearing in mind that they are also quite high in sugar, it's just not the refined sugar. Also introducing some healthy fats, so things like avocados, nuts, seeds, olives, all that kind of stuff as well. And then protein-rich foods, so that helps curb the carb cravings. So that could be things like beef and fish and whatnot. And also you can swap some of those other grains for things like some wild rice or brown rice and quinoa as well. So hopefully you found this really helpful for you, and if any of this sounds interesting to you and you want to talk to us more about your headaches and migraines and what we can do for you, then drop us a line below, or you can give us a call at Melbourne Headache Solutions. Okay, bye.